Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. Of course, I'm going to do a Citizencon highlights, but I thought first, let's be contrarian and do a worst things about Citizencon video. Now, it took a lot of effort to actually find 8 bad things, so don't be surprised if the first few seem kind of, trivial. Number 8, Jared's snub. After the event, Jared was talking with folks in front of the stage, so I thought I would say hi. I come up and say, "Hi, I'm Daniel Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide," which got me a blank stare. At which point I said it was a YouTube channel. At which point he said, "Sorry, we're just too busy with our own schedule of content to follow others," which I know isn't strictly true because just a few minutes earlier he had mocked both Burks and Salty Mike. I mean, how many more subs do I need to get before I can be mocked too? Not that I necessarily want to be mocked, but, the principle of it. Number 7, the Content Creators Corner. I guess this also falls in the category of snub, but more generally. Now, I don't want to act like I'm entitled. When I bought my ticket, I didn't expect anything special, but when I saw that there was an area of the show floor called the Content Creator Corner, I thought, much like a reporter seeing something labeled press room, that there is something or someone there to make my job easier. Instead, it was the most empty and boring place in the entire show floor, with just some lights and a sponsor backdrop and some tables like the ones in the lounge area, except without any chairs. If you want an indication of how useless this creator space was, note that CIG did not use it for even a second of their show floor coverage. What might I have expected? Well, based on the model of a press room, I might have expected a press agent to answer questions about the show and to help arrange interviews. Maybe a place to recharge phones or a sign announcing a creator meet and greet. I know that there are other creators who are attending the show who I would have loved to connect with, but unless they were part of a community booth, there was pretty much no way to connect with them in such a huge auditorium. So if you're going to give the impression of doing something to support content creators, well then, do something to support content creators. Number 6, about 2 or 3 decibels. That is how much the master gain was too hot for the sound system. Now, I'm not against loud, but when you get into the realm of clipping the signal and distorting the loudspeakers, you are no longer just loud, you are loud and bad. Number 5, the next few had to do with the ship panel. The first was that there was no mention of the C-1 medium cargo or the Storm Scout tank. These are in the 3.21.x release sequence, so certainly there was something they could show about it. Yet nothing. Number 4, and there is in particular the ship tractor beams and the SRV. This is both a major new ship capability and a potentially transformative ship, and in the 3.21.x release branch. Again, this certainly would deserve inclusion, I thought, but wasn't. Number 3, treating the Banu merchantman buyers like, crap. Continuing with the ship panel, they explain how another company rated some of their top talent for the team working on the merchantman. We already knew that. But hey, let's show you a 3-minute teaser of the white box that they left behind. So good news, we've rebuilt our staff. So we can resume work on the merchantman, right?
So, let's talk about something else quickly.
Oh look, a squirrel! Or rather, oh look, an Idris, and then, oh look, a javelin, a Polaris, a galaxy, then a Perseus. And then, certainly then they would work on the merchantman, right? Right? So how is the merchantman buyer supposed to feel about this whole segment? Well, I guess they could think they have some better loaner ships on the way, but still. What's going on here anyway? I've seen this happen at other creative studios, and simply put, it is fear. The merchantman was a ship with a singular artistic vision, and nobody else feels like they have that strong of a vision, or if they do, they have their own vision, not someone else's. It is kind of like you had Claude Monet in your studio, but somebody offered Monet more Monet, and he left with this half-finished Monet canvas left behind. You have lots of other painters in the studio, but if you tell them you'd like them to finish this Monet painting, they will get very interested in doing something, anything else. Because they know that no matter how much they pour themselves into it, people will say that it's not the painting that Monet would have finished. Correctly so. Then one painter, let's say, doesn't seem scared, and it's this weird guy Vincent. But he doesn't paint anything like Monet. When you tell him that he has to finish it the way Monet would have finished it, He gets real sullen, like maybe he'll cut off the other ear too. So what do? Unlike this unfinished painting hanging in the Musée Marmottan Monet in Paris, France, an unfinished ship is not an option. Well, you let Vincent paint. How Monet might have finished this painting is lost to the ages, as is how the prior lead artist might have finished The Merchantman. But you will get a Van Gogh. Take an artist with a clear vision and a strong hand and tell them to keep what you want and change what you want, but make art, and you will get art. Number 2, no Q&A. Now, I know why they dropped them. They are simply too ungainly for a venue of this size, often trivial, and definitely tend to make every session go long. But they gave a sense of mutual engagement that was lost without them. But what about that unused, pointless content creator corner? What if you simply made a rule that for a half hour after each session, the participants would be available in that side room for Q&A and then stream that on a separate channel? So if somebody was really interested in a particular follow-on question, they could. And finally, the number one disappointment, even rising to the level of a worry, about this year's Citizencon. Nothing about the economy for the second year in a row. We know that they have a new economy team at CIG. We also know that they have had quantum simulation on a very limited number of commodities, presumably for a while now. So there should be something to talk about, either about what the economics team is doing or what the experience with scaling quantum economics up has been. Are they perhaps scrapping it for another approach altogether because scaling quantum to the full set of commodities and the full range of eventual locations didn't work? And if it wasn't, it wouldn't surprise me. Although I am an architect and software engineer, my extended family is just packed full of accountants and economists. And most economic simulations are done with algorithms, perhaps in conjunction with Monte Carlo analysis. Getting enough bots when you start scaling to many dozens of commodities and a great many more star systems while still keeping the bot code lightweight may be proving impossible. Given the right inputs, you can do a good enough model of a galactic economy to have dynamic pricing in Excel. Or at least I sit down at Thanksgiving with at least 3 people who could. Now for an update on our giveaways. First, the winner of the Hull C, congratulations, member Mark Brewser. And we still have the ongoing contest that will be happening during the IAE Week Expo in just a couple months. For your choice of either the Massive Modular Mining Moving Medical Machine, the Galaxy Complete, or the brand new Big Box Bargain Bazaar called the Merchantman. 1 entry per video, just be a member and be entered automatically, or subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is who got more money. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Daniel Raymond for Ray's Guide.